The Battle of the Lapiths and Centaurs. Pirithous had wed Hippodame and called the cloud-born Centaurs to recline at tables ranged within a tree-clad cave. The lords of Thessaly were there, and I was there myself. The festive palace rang with the merry hubbub of the milling guests. And now the wedding hymn was sung, the fire smoked in the royal hall. In came the bride with wives and matrons walking at her side, supreme in beauty. Blessed indeed we called Pirithous with such a bride, and brought nearly thereby their wedded bliss to naught. For Eurytus, the fiercest of the fierce Centaurs, was fired by wine and by the sight of that fair girl, and drink was in command, doubled by lust. Tables were overturned, the banquet in confusion, and the bride, held by her hair, was seized and carried off. Hippodame was seized by Eurytus. The others seized what girl each would or could. The scene was like a city sacked, the house echoed with women's screams. At once we all sprang to our feet, and Theseus shouted first, "What madness, Eurytus, possesses you to provoke Pirithous while I'm alive? 2 men, you fool, in one." To back his words, the great-souled prince, thrusting the throng aside, rescued the ravished girl from their wild rage. No answer came, for no words could defend such deeds. The dastard charged her champion, pummeled his noble chest and punched his chin. An antique wine bowl chanced to stand nearby, jagged with high relief. Huge as it was, Theseus, still huger, lifted it and hurled it crashing on his foe. He vomited great gouts of blood with brains and wine from wound and throat, and falling backwards beat his heels upon the soaking sand. His death incensed his twi-formed brothers, and with one accord, each vying with the rest, to arms, they shouted. Wine gave courage. In the first fighting, goblets went flying, and fragile jars and bowls and dishes meant for banqueting now turned to war and carnage. Amycus, Ophion's son, first robbed the sanctuary, daring to seize its gifts, and first again snatched a great candlestick with clustered lights, and lifting it at arm's length like a priest straining with sacrificial axe to cleave a white bull's neck, he crashed it on the brow of Lapiths Celadon, and left his face smashed beyond recognition. Both his eyes leapt out, cheekbones were shattered, nose forced back and wedged inside his mouth. Then Amycus was felled by Lapiths, who'd wrenched away a maple table leg. His chin was forced into his chest, and as he spat dark blood and teeth, a second wound sent him away down to the shades of Hades. Gryneus next, with murder in his eyes, stood gazing at the smoking altar. "Why don't we use this?" he cried, and lifted up its giant bulk, aglow with fires, and hurled it at a group of Lapiths, and crushed 2 of them, Orion and Broteus. Orion was the son of Mycale, whose magic spells, men say, had many a time forced down the struggling moon. "You'll pay for this, if I've a means to find a weapon," cried XII, and found antlers, a votive gift, on a tall pine. He rammed the double prongs in Gryneus's eyes and gouged his eyeballs. One stuck to the horn, one rolling down his beard, hung caked in blood.